In the upper left, folks, in the gold, he is the evil Zerg. He has been looking so good. It's Dark. In the bottom right, in the red, repping the US of A. For onside, Neeb. Neeb also looking... Every week, I see Neeb do something. If he plays an EPTNA or not, whatever he's doing, he looks just better and better and better. It is honestly insane. So he goes, no one knows what he's really up to. I think he was kind of odds-on consensus amongst people, again, amongst casters, that he would be first out of his group in Katowice, or first knocked out of his group in Katowice, just because he hasn't really been doing much. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, fair. And then he goes, and apparently, rumor was that he wasn't even going to go. I mean, I don't know that rumor was true, but that was to the extent of no one had seen him practice. No one really knew what was up with Neeb. Then he goes to Katowice. Takes the map off Rogue. Probably should have 2-0'd Rogue, but he did still get knocked out of his group in last place, or he didn't qualify. I don't think he was totally last place, but he didn't qualify out of his group. But Katowice reminds him that, you know what? Offline StarCraft is actually a lot of fun. He enjoys it. He forgot how much he enjoyed it, so he goes and he starts grinding. And then, of course, it's announced that he's dropped from Ting, and I think part of that was because I talked to Ting at one point, looking to get them to sponsor a show match or something. But it's because they got bought out. They no longer had the discretionary sponsorship money that they would have liked to have. So my gut says that they just kind of forgot they were sponsoring. I mean, I doubt that. That's not how big companies work. But it kind of felt like they forgot they were sponsoring Neeb, and then they're like, oh well, I guess we do. I guess we got to cut him loose. So then we start to see Neeb playing in more Einline Cups than we ever have. The Wardy PTR Invitational, where he either won or he got very far. He actually played some really great PvZ. It wasn't what the patch settled into. There was some pretty cool PvZ nonetheless. And then he just starts playing these open cups. He starts making finals where he's losing to European Terrans. But he's just winning, he's just making finals. And then he goes and he dominates North America. And then he has that insane run in Valencia where he really should have gone further, unfortunately. Fortunately if you're a Crater fan. Unfortunately for Neeb, he kind of threw a Game 5 lead away. And that, of course, led to Crater making top 4 in Valencia and just making us all love him even more by his reactions to making that comeback versus Neeb. Oh, if you haven't already, I have that moment in my highlight video from the final day of Valencia, and people say we need more villains in StarCraft. That Adept's not gonna get much. People say we need more villains, more characters. I don't know that we necessarily need heals, but we do need people that care. Emotion is good, and while it does hurt Crater a little bit, it's letting the Shark forward, but not too much because Neeb's gonna take that pocket base. So really not a lot of aggressive opportunity from Dark in this game. Number one, at least from the front. Maybe he does a Ling drop, maybe he goes Nidus, but he's not really gonna be able to punch through that front. He's not really gonna be able to put a lot of pressure on that third base. And we should talk about this because that has allowed Neeb to get really the quickest possible third base, like the quickest humanly possible base. He dropped it like 320. Dark not really showing us much of anything just yet. He's got 5 queens to go up to 7, and that maybe he wants to do some sort of a queen walk thing, like a queen drop thing, like he did against Nightmare. But for now, he's gonna have to weather a bit of a storm here. 2 oracles, 2 adepts into the natural. They will go. One drone dies to start. Queens pop just in time. Adepts into a little bit of an awkward spot here. Lynx can't fight this, and there is no spore at the third. So 5 workers will die. These adepts, they die as well, but hey, you want 4, right? That's the worker count that that's the damage that actually pays for the adepts. 2 is kind of the standard, but 4 is what you really want. He gets 5 with the oracles as well. And even more importantly, he knows that there's no spore in the third base. There's more room for aggression as he drops double forge behind this. And there we go. Into the main base is undefended. More drones are going to go down. Neeb finding fantastic value with these oracles early on. Actually, he's going to get even more on the way out. I thought he kind of was out of energy, but he gets 6 more. So a grand total of 11 drones dying in this game. And this should buy him enough room to get the 1-1 up. That, and of course, the natural is pretty choked out. So it's hard for Dark to really push through. But Dark, he says, you know what? Maybe I took a little too much damage. He's got drones. He's only on 35. I mean, if we look at the mini-map here, he's just got stuff running on the other side of the map. Queens off creep are going to be a massive tail for Neeb. I feel like he almost wants to just cancel. He just has to cancel his 1-1, and there we go. Oh, an Oracle falls. That's rather unfortunate. You want stasis traps. You want the Oracle DPS. I don't know that Neeb has enough energy for that, actually. How much energy does he have in this Oracle? He doesn't have enough energy for a stasis trap, so he's just scouting around. He cannot get too close, and this push from Dark is terrifying. Neeb, if he survives, he's going to be in a great spot. He's going to have 1-1 blink, 8 gates, but he has to survive. Shield batteries, of course, are on the way, and there is no lair for Dark. This is just hashtag. These queens are added to DPS, but they cannot heal themselves. The creep is not there, so yes, the Cybercore will fall, but Neeb already halfway to a second one. The big deal, though, is, of course, there is no wall, so the Lings, they can run in with impunity, but good concave that Neeb is setting up right now. And I don't know, the army supplies tell one story, just the positioning really kind of tells another. Zealot's going to warp in right now. Biles land, but the shield battery overcharge is still staying alive here as Lings continue to die. Queen's just not adding all that much. Zealots run forward, they do not have charge, so they're not particularly useful just yet. But by the time shield battery overcharge is over, 1-1 is going to be damn close to finishing. Blink is now done in 10 seconds. We're going to see a stage trap go down. It's going to get targeted down, but even still, that's lost DPS. Lost damage from these Ravagers, from these Lings, from these Queens. So Neeb with a fantastic concave. He makes an incredible hold. And Neeb's up 1. So game 2. Another game, another day, another dollar. Where does Neeb make his schmackos? Where does he make his dollar dues? As for right now, well, the game's, I mean, there's not much to talk about. Hash gas pool from Dark. Neeb going for Gate Nexus. So, okay, well, there's that. We can go as a Gate Nexus Cyber, not Gate Cyber Nexus. So, any sort of adept timing is going to be a little slower, but of course, his economy going to be much quicker. His probe count going to start to increase much quicker, and he's going to, of course, have Chrono. That may, depending on where he wants to drop Chrono, more probes, quicker warp gate. Yeah, at least one way, half dozen the other, really. But the big question is whether Dark is going to take the damage he did in game number 1, because as I mentioned earlier, although I guess in another cast, Zergs have started to be extremely greedy with their openers, because it feels like that's what you have to do against this hero style. You get 2 Lings instead of 4. Dark does get 4 this time. You only get 1 Spore. You only get 1 Spore in your natural, and you just rely on Queens to defend the main and the third. But I feel like I see that really fall flat on its face too often. I feel like more often than not, we see Zergs attempt that, and then they lose 10 workers. It's like, okay, great. You know, you may win this game eventually if you turtle it out or you clutch it out in some way, but in general, you just find yourself pretty far behind off that play. But I do think it's interesting, though. And maybe it's just because it speeds up the timing of the Protoss a little bit. Maybe that's worthwhile. The hero style, as Hero plays it, or at least unless maybe something's changed in the last week or so, as Hero plays it, he goes and he gets 3 Oracles. He gets 2 across the map. He has 1 at home. The 1 at home defends any pressure on the third, while 2 Oracles across the map can actually go and they one-tap workers. It is so much value. Whereas we saw in the Nightmare series, Nightmare, and actually I believe in the game 1 for Neeb as well, he only got 2 Oracles. Which means that if you want to one-shot probes, you don't have defense at home really, which means, of course, that the third base is a lot more vulnerable. Now, maybe the argument is that you get some adepts and it's going to be fine, a good SimCity, but maybe it speeds up the upgrades fast enough, maybe it speeds up the progression to the next level of tech that's worth it. I'm not going to say one way or the other, it's just a different style. But I do think it's interesting that all the Western players have really opted into double Oracle, and it's just Hero kind of waving the flag of triple Oracle. So, okay. Twilight on the way behind this one. So, if anything, this could be Hero style. Oh, okay, it's Hero style. It's Adept Clave. Not really sure just yet, but with, what are we at gateways? There's only 2 gateways thus far. No more getting added in as Oracle's looking to shark around. Haven't really gotten much of anything just yet. Queens are doing a much better job of zoning things out right now. Oracle's into the third base. They will go 2 workers. Fall! Make it 3. And Neeb gets out. Certainly not the 10. that we were talking about earlier, because you know what? Neeb was not able to reposition his opponent nearly as much, but there we go. 2 additional gateways on the way. This will be Blink in this game, as Neeb has built himself a kind of an old school Sim City where you go and you kind of build the 2 pylons and you put a cannon behind there or something. We're gonna have to see if he does put anything there whatsoever. As Gauntlet Wizard, thanks so much for the resub and the 5 gifted subs. My goodness, thank you so much. You're too generous. Okay, Neeb, more gateways on the way now. He has gone the quick blink slow upgrades version. This is something that, well, this is a version of what would be called the Enlightened Protoss. When I was talking to Scarlet about how things work, or how PvZ works a month and a half ago, she was saying, well, you know, this is the way you want to play. You delay your upgrades, you get Blink done right around 540, and Blink has not done 540 here. Neeb, of course, by getting that second Oracle, slows that down just a little bit. But it's going to be done maybe 610. But the Stalker's now going to be active on the map. And Dark has not gone for the anti-hero style, right? This is ranged on the way. This is not quick melee. So Stalker's running forward, knocking down a lot of creep here. And there's a pylon to warp in. So this is an older variant of the Swarm Toss style. This is an older variant of the hero style. So Stalkers are here, and there's not a lot of links. He's kind of caught Dark when he's droning, which is, of course, never what you want. Now, Blink is going to be done rather soon. A bunch of Stalkers are warping in. This is starting to get really scary for Dark in this game. Now the Lings have arrived, but more and more Stalkers are here, and now Blink. 5 seconds from completion. Ling's looking to find their way in the third, but there's a shield batter here, and Oracle's defensively. You can run back home rather quickly. These Lings, they get just about nothing. So more Stalkers warping in. 8 at a time, or well, eventually 8 at a time, as Neeb needs to be able to ensure that he can afford it. This 4th base will not complete, so Neeb and Dark on 3 bases each. Neeb on equal supply. Here we're going to see 1 queen getting very low, targeted down, 1 queen dead. So much less HP, so much less healing in this army. Neeb wedging his way through. A 2nd queen falls, making a 3rd one, but Ling's looking for a surround, looking to knock down reinforcements. Yeah, that's nice. Oracle's defending as well as they can, but I'm not sure it really matters here, because here we go. Neeb into the natural probe, starting to fall. Yeah. We're not going to see the pylon anymore. It's dead. We're not going to see the gateway anymore. It's dead as well. But these Lings cannot take this fight. This is probably going to be a 3rd base dead from Dark here. Oracle's on top of the drone line. 15 probes, or 15 drones have died. The Roach Warren, yes, Glial Reconstitution will complete. Roach speed is done, but no more Roaches in this game. Ling's going to try to move where they can. Honestly, the lack of Roaches is fine. Dark does not want the Roaches. He wants Lings. That's the only thing that really fights the Stalkers right now. And again, the Stalkers, they do not have +1s. The Roaches with Roach speed, they're going to try to get on top of things. But Neeb rallying more Stalkers on the other side of the map. Dark is dead. Neeb's up 2. So where does Dark go in this game number 3? He's been on the wrong side of a couple build orders in the first 2 games. He takes far too much damage from Adept Oracle in the first one, and decides to all in with a kind of a queen walk idea, just queens for extra damage more than anything else. I mean, their energy was useless, and it just didn't work. Neeb was too prepared, even as he was getting pretty greedy. He went double forge. He said, no, I'm fine. I can hold this one pretty easily. And then game 2 didn't take quite as much damage, but he didn't have the melee timing. He instead went +1 ranged, and he just died to a 6-minute blink, which is certainly a variant that is rather strong. And Dr. Scarlet, it is the way that hero style should be played. Now, of course, her argument is that the way Astrea is playing right now, which is more that charge-led Archon idea that we saw Nightmare try, that's the best way to play. That's the hardest one to deal with at the moment. Now, I don't know. Stalkers, I feel like, are a little bit more versatile all around, and if you're worried about aggression, which I think if you're Dark, or if you're playing against Dark, you absolutely have to, getting their Stalkers out, they deal with Roach aggression, they deal with Roach Queen aggression a lot easier than Charge-Led Archon does, because that is very much, as Pig said, a critical mass idea. It's not something where it does not have a lot of micro potential. It's not something that allows you to really express skill in the same way that a bunch of Blink Stalkers, or even Unblink Stalkers do. But look at this! Neeb really mixing it up in game number 3. Yeah, I got a couple of Adepts that have been sharking around looking for something, but it's going to be a Void Ray out of Neeb in this game 3. Huh. Now, this could just be the one to kill off a bunch of Overlords, and there are 2 Overlords on the map, so that's always going to be rather nice, as Dark understands that the second Overlord may be able to keep it alive, but Neeb's got a good scout, so he says, oh, I know where that second Overlord is. And there we go. Void Ray is out, so it has 1 kill to his name already. He's going to look for that second one. So Dark not going to be supply blocked up. Well, actually, no, he will be supply blocked off of this one. He's got another Oracle on the way to replace the one that he has lost. But no, actually, we don't see a third Overlord on the way. And this is not like there's going to be a third base finishing up. Dark is going to be, unfortunately, supply blocked by this. Well, yeah, he's going to be pretty annoyingly supply blocked by this setup for just a little bit. But Neeb behind this, he's got 1 Oracle. Second one is going to be on the way. And there's a Twilight behind that. Okay, so Neeb just wanted a way to knock down Oracles. He said, you know, Dark, you've been a little too uppity with your Oracle positioning. I think I can slow you down a little bit. I'm going to get a Void Ray. And Void Rays, they cost a little bit more in terms of, you know, gas and minerals combined than two Overlords do. But, you know, the supply block, the ability to prevent Dark from building those extra 2 drones that he would like, yeah, maybe it's worth it. As for now, of course, Neeb, his third base is just about up, so he's going to be able to build 3 probes at a time. 2 Oracles paired up here, looking for a spot to dive into, and they're going to catch a couple drones on the transfer. 2 will start, and Dark learning his lesson from the first game. He's got a Spore in the third, but it does not matter, because he's still going to lose 6 workers, which is very nice indeed. But here's the thing. There's that +1 melee. Granted, it's late. This is, normally you would start it a little bit earlier than that. You drop the Evo chamber around 4. Well, actually, I guess you drop the Evo chamber around 4 minutes. It's not quite as late as I thought it was. But Oracle's find a little bit more, and again, the stock is active on the map with additional consistent DPS now. You had this Void Ray. Yeah, earlier it was like, okay, well, you know, Oracles, they don't do, they only do damage when they have energy. But now the addition of this Void Ray, there's just a little bit more consistent damage from the air, which means Neeb kind of has a win condition. If he can go and knock these queens down, there is not going to be much that Dark will be able to do. That being said, or he's not going to be able to deal with the Void Ray. That being said, Neeb does have to run back. That's a lot of lings on the map right now, and this is going to get a little... I think we need to see a recall coming out of Neeb, but it feels like, yeah, this is going to be too late. Well, maybe, yeah. Only 1 Oracle has energy. This is not going to work out well for Neeb whatsoever. He's going to lose all these Stalkers. And, or at least, okay, I guess he's just going to lose most of the Stalkers. There's a nice micro there for me. Running out of things. Another Stalker will fall. And that's going to be the third one, and +1 melee. Not yet done. Even though now he recalls. Don't know how I feel about that one. I feel like he should have just recalled, but maybe he got enough lings to make it worthwhile. As Blink is now done, so Neeb can fight this a whole lot easier. +1 melee going to be done a lot quicker than the Neeb's +1, so that's going to be a timing where Dark is going to be very happy on the map. And this is the style that really the Zergs have been loving. This is what they've been favoring to deal with the version of Protoss that Hero has been just looking so incredible with. You get a lot of lings, you get +1, they just fight Stalkers so well, and ideally you trap them on the map before anything really happens in earnest. And now here we go. Stalkers are all going to go down to the right side with +1 melee here. And Stalkers looks like they're in decent position. Ooh, the Enlightened Protoss with the wall, kind of, but the Banelings will all fall. So no probes die. That's nice. Neeb stays alive here. He doesn't lose too many Stalkers. He's lost 9. But it's for the cost of 51 Lings, a couple Banes. Neeb keeps his 4th base alive. I thought that was going to be a lot worse for Neeb than it was. And now his +1 just about done. He's got charge most of the way. Stalker's active on the map. And he can start to knock down some of this creep. And Dark, you don't get a lot of work. You don't get a lot of drones with this style, at least not at first. You need the lings to be able to keep your opponent away from you. So Dark's only on 60 workers. He only is on 4 bases. He does not have a lot of gas. The style that Dark has gone for is not one that has a lot of longevity to it. It's all about really... you're playing Battle Zerg, right? You're really trying to fight the Zerg where the Protoss where they are. Look at this. Neeb is wallet. Oh, that's cool. He's made it so there's really only 1 attack pattern. Only 1 attack opportunity into his core 4 bases, and it's certainly not through the middle of the map. It's not that scariest position where you don't know where your opponent's going. Are they going to your main, your natural, your 4th, or your 3rd, your natural, and your 4th? You don't really know. There we go. That's going to be a dead queen. Nice pick off there, Neeb. There we go. Queen's dead. Now we're going to see more creep get removed as Neeb continues to skyrocket forward ahead in supply, and there we go. 8 Zealots into the main base. This is where life starts to get a little bit complicated. Zealots in the 3rd base as well. Neeb looking to just tear Dark apart in this game. 10 drones have died immediately, but Lings are going to try to take the fight against these Stalkers as Neeb gently microing backwards and backwards and backwards. A couple Stalkers are starting to fall as Neeb target fires the Observer down, and that something. But now as the Lings are off creep, he's going to have to back up. Or at least Dark will. He's got to stay on creep there, but more and more zealots in the main base. 14 drones have died. Third base still not dealt with, and these zealots in the main base are really what is giving Neeb such a massive advantage, as the Lings are just not fighting well in the third base here. Oh man, the Void Ray still doing good work. The Queen's not going to knock it down. There's so many Stalkers here from Neeb knocking out. He just trades so well against the Roaches, and Neeb is going to get this lair. If he targets it down, there we go. Lair is dead. Dark is only on 60 workers. He's only on 4 hatch right now, and on the right side, the Roaches are dying as well. Neeb looks like he's about to 3-0 Dark here, which was not the score that I was expecting in the slightest when I looked at this matchup. I thought Neeb could do it, but certainly not a 3-0. But the man is just on fire. Well, he used to rock the on fire clan tag. I think his Twitter might still be on fire Neeb, and he absolutely is in this game. He's knocked Dark down onto 4 hatch. He does not have a lair, no tech progression for the man anymore. +2 melee is something, but Dark is dead in 3 quick games. Neeb does something that Bjorn, or I guess that Bjorn did, but not nearly as quickly. What a series there from Neeb.